Death at the gates again. Howling my name. Come on in, old buddy. Sorry I made you wait.
Hello there. Sorry from 17 once again. This is my Wolfenstein II I Am Death Incarnate, no upgrade video walkthrough. This is Section F, and this is a pretty interesting mission, this one. We're going to be moving around the submarine that is our base, and it turns out there's an entire, massive area filled with bad people, and they're just through here. So pick up the tomahawk off the dartboard, kill the guy in front, kill the guy to the left, pick up both your axes and hope you don't get robbed by the game, and then we're going to be moving forward, and there's two more guys just in front. This is another tricky level for one section, but I'm going to show you a really nice strategy that should get rid of it. Double axe those two guys, pick up your stuff. So I should probably talk about this because it's a fucking nightmare. So there are a few things that ruin this game, and when I say ruin, they just annoy me basically, and they might annoy you, and if we're both annoyed together then that's a good thing because you'll feel my pain. But one of them is the detection on the axes. So the axe is the most important tool in the game. It enables you to stealth kill at a distance, it enables you to do incredible things. It is wonderful at doing almost everything to every enemy. With the axe you can kill almost everything in this game with one simple action. It's wonderful, and that was a pun. Kinda. But the problem with it is, when you throw it, it bounces, and then the world applies physics to it, and it can go into some ridiculous places. So there are times where you can hear your axe clipping on the collision from the gravity, and it's making all kinds of noise, but you can't find where it's gone. So you will occasionally be robbed of axes for no other reason than because the game is really strange like that. And then there are the mantling issues I have. This game has really fast mobility for your character, but then he doesn't mantle anything. So you have these wonderful moments where you're trying to climb shit, and he just doesn't climb it. I've come from Titanfall 2 where your character climbs everything, he's like that French dude. But in this game, if you don't pick the exact piece of geometry, the game's just like, fuck you. And I don't get it. For a game that's so fast, so beautiful, and so seemingly polished, there's a ton of problems in areas that really piss me off. And the collision's the worst by far, because there are staircases that you can't move up, there are doorways you can't move through, there are times when you just can't move forward and there's no really good reason why, and I think it might potentially be something to do with the FOV on PC, because I had little bits of problems on console, but I didn't have anything near what I do on PC, and it does say that bugs might happen when you extend the FOV, so maybe that's part of why it's way worse on this run, but even on Xbox One, the collision wasn't good. And I'll never understand why something as simple as clipping is such a problem when everything else seems to have been refined to such an extent. But in here, I'm going to do the wonderful turning execution animation, which I really like, and then I'm going to just push forward to that door in front of us, and we're going to skip this room completely. When you kill that commander, the two guys in front of you will see it, but they won't see you. There's an axe behind you, Chris. Axe behind you, Chris. Get off the thing, Chris. There's an axe. There you go. Good lad. Not that we need it, but it's good to have, so... Coming up is going to be a couple more enemies here, and then there's going to be the difficult section. So you can climb through there if you want to and go underneath things, but once again, the climbing's up to the game, it's nothing to do with you as a player, it just doesn't feel good, and avoid it at all costs. There's two dudes here, and then there's one dude coming up, so pick up your axe after felling both of these fellas, and then continue onwards. There's a really tricky section coming up on the doorway as well. One guy there, one guy to the left, sorry. Because you have to melt the doorway, and then you have to attack the commander. And sometimes it just triggers an alarm immediately. And sometimes you can even get instantly killed by the commander. It's happened to me as well. So just be careful on this doorway. I drop a save before I open it, because it just seems to make more sense. There's also an autosave if you don't want to manually save. But all you need to do now is explode the red things, and we're going to be doing a big standoff against a dozen enemies. And this is a really tough shootout unless you do what I'm about to show you. So if you stand where I am here, almost nothing will flank you, and you can shoot them with full... I'm not going to say full immunity, because these guys can fire back, but as long as you're accurate and you put them down quickly, you should be okay. Do you see the guy on my left just then? That's the only time that they can ever get close to flanking you, and if you stand in this corridor, they will move back onto the walkway, and you will never get attacked from the left. And all that's going to happen here is there's going to be a slow dripping stream of enemies coming down this way, and you just want to kill them one after one after one after one, and then after a while of waiting, the commander will eventually come, and when you kill the commander, it ends the sequence. And this is all we're going to do, guys. It's a slow strategy, but it's safe, and that's all that matters. So, let's talk about saving, because saving is incredibly important. So, on this difficulty, you can save anywhere, at any time, and it will save. It's not one of those, like, if you save, it saves your data, but it doesn't save your location, you go back to the last checkpoint. It is a literal PC save, where you drop a save, that is the frame you come back into the game on. And it's a double-sided sword. So, on the one hand, the game has autosaves. They're not as generous as you'd think, but they do pop up every so often. Saving can be a godsend if you know you've done something well and you want to put it behind you and focus on moving forward, but you can also save yourself into a corner. You can save yourself into bad spots, you can do a whole host of intricate, you know, nasty moments. And speaking of ex-Starbreeze, well, back on Butcher Bay, if anybody remembers that game, and it came out on the Xbox 360 and I think the PS3, with a game called Dark Athena, which was the new Chronicles of Riddick one. I ended up playing Butcher Bay because I'd never played it before, and I saved myself, because you could save anywhere on that game. I saved myself underneath a security turret, and the moment it gave me control, before the screen had finished fading in, I was dead. Hardest difficulty, turret murked me instantly. And it took me about 40 minutes to get out of that room, but I got out because it was my fault. It had been my choice to save there. I didn't realise I'd saved in a bad spot, and thus I was, you know, in trouble. But you can get stubborn, and you can get through it if you want to. My tip on saving in this game is save as frequently as you want to. There's no penalty for doing it. Do it, you know, it's really, really useful. Of course, I recommend that you stagger saves, so you don't keep saving over the same one, just in case you put yourself in a bad spot. Maybe cycle between 5 and keep alternating, and keep it that way. But you will always have autosaves to fall back on, generally 2, sometimes more, and then you can be manually saving once you've done something interesting. Watch this, by the way, I got really scared here, and the reason that I was doing crazy strafe then and shooting as quick as possible is because he could kill you very quickly. But once you've done that, that's the end of the mission, guys. All you have to do is backtrack and we've won. But save as much as you want to. I'm going to be saving occasionally, once I know that there's a section that can go hit and miss coming up. But if you're using this as practice for Mein Leben, saving's not going to help you. Nothing's going to help you on that because you can't even save. It's one life, it's one sitting, it's on this difficulty. It is literally an achievement and a trophy that you should be very proud to earn if you get it, and not many will because it's that difficult. So thank you very much for watching, and you take care now.